Welcome out to our essential oil spotlight this evening. The essential oil spotlight that we're going to talk about is Deep Blue. Deep Blue, also called Soothing Blend, or in Australia, I think also Canada. Does Canada call it? They call it Ice Blue. No, just Australia. Canada calls it Deep Blue. So, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce our presenter, the lovely Jade Balden.
Thank you.
How that
Thank you. All right, so Deep Blue. How cool is Deep Blue, right? Everybody likes
5 thumbs up.
5 stars. Yeah. Oh, it's a staple for every family. So make sure you have Deep Blue in your home. So it's great for your muscles, your back, your joint pains, and aches, circulation. It's great for growing pains if you have little ones that are growing, bruises, sores, and emotionally, it's the oil of surrendering pain. Okay, so that's your Deep Blue in a nutshell. Guys, the people that are on the show, does anybody want to share any experience with the Deep Blue?
I think this is a powerful oil. A lot of when you talk about oils, like when you're giving people samples and stuff, this is one that has a high impact. A lot of people feel an instant relief or whatever for pain, or pains. That's what it's really good for.
I have 2 experiences. It was one of the first oils that we wound up getting. I was introduced to oils for me, but shortly after, my daughter had some joint issues and just woke up and couldn't walk. And so we started going to the doctor to try to figure out what was going on. And in the meantime, I just called Jade and was like, I don't know, everything hurts her. You know, it would be her wrist, then it would be her hips. It would just change. Mm-hmm. So Jade was like, no worries. We got this, you know. So she was like, Deep Blue lotion, Deep Blue, okay. And I ordered all 3, you know, the pills, the lotion, the oil, and a roller, and oil down my girl, you know. And she had tried different pain medication, and it just didn't work. But the Deep Blue was the thing that got her, you know, past the pain to be able to stay in school and all. And so that opened up our eyes, like, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Whatever is in here is wonderful. And, you know, her doctor was like, yeah, do this. You can do it every 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. Just use it, you know. So that was like the first big thing. And then that was when I first started. And then just this summer, I was teaching my family in New Orleans, and one of them had sciatic nerve damage and had received an epidural. And she was still in pain. And so we gave her the Deep Blue, and she was like, I can't believe I've had 2 epidurals and this oil took away the pain. And so, yeah, that was just, she had to be carried out by an ambulance to get to the doctor because she couldn't move. It hurt so bad. So when I gave her that, she was just like, you guys, I can go to the doctor. I can get around a little bit now. So it's exceptional for pain and relieving someone that is in a condition that they just really are, you know, struggling with. So that's excellent.
Well, thank you so much, Stacey. That's excellent. How about you, Jean? Have you experienced Deep Blue?
Yeah, I've had lots. So one particular girlfriend, her father's got terminal cancer, and he had real severe gout, and he'd been bedridden for days. They couldn't get him out of bed. He couldn't even move around, and the mother and daughter were really stressing about it. And so I gave a little sample of it, and the next day he was able to make movement, and they were surprised. Mother was very skeptical. She still is very skeptical about the oils, but the daughter, and they've just come back from the cruise, and she said she took the oils with her little keychain with her. She said, oh, so Tilly's going to join, and the hope that she can help her family as well. And then we had another one. We have a temporary mission president filling for now, and his wife, I was watching her, and she could barely walk. She had all the senior couples at the mission home, and I could tell that she was putting on a brave face, and she was in a lot of pain. And I said, So I quite said, what's going on? And she said, oh, both her knees need to be replaced. And she said, but I've got this agonizing pain. And I had a little sample of my deep blue. And I went to give it to her, and I tipped, and I realized it was empty. My boys had been using it. And so I looked at my purse, but I actually had the miniature bottle that comes in our, oh, Jade, thank you to you. The aroma touch, I had that with me. And so I handed it to her, and I said, look, I'm happy to rub it on you. If you want, we'll go into the other room. And so I applied it on her, and she was just in so much pain. The next day, she took the whole bottle, and I cramped up the next day, which is the following evening, which was really funny. And I was like, and I didn't have it. And this particular cramp was unusual. Like, it's rare that I cramp in my calf, but this was really painful. But I had Birch from convention, so that was my saving grace. And she came to me the following day. She said, I've never heard of, so I was telling her about doTERRA, and she travels back and forth to Utah for conference and all, and she'd never heard of it. So we had a really nice conversation about it, and she said, I've used lots of things, but nothing's worked the way that she said. The super blue oil, she called it. It was good. It was really good to see. Yeah.
Wow, what great stories, you guys. That's exactly right. It does this, and this story is repeated over and over. Just, we see people and hear people's experience, and it's all the same. It's like, oh, we tried all these things, and it just hasn't worked, and whoa, that worked really quickly. Whoa. And so we're really happy. We like watching them say, wow, and we're still surprised, us, right? We're still surprised how quickly it worked for people. We're like holding our breath and being almost there, and they're going to say it, yay, oh, it feels good. I'm like, yay, that's great. So if you look here on the screen, it's an oil blend of wintergreen, peppermint, ylang-ylang, camphor. Okay, it's white camphor. And then it's helichrysum, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and osmanthus. So the blue tansy and blue chamomile is what gives it the blue color. The flowers aren't blue, but when you distill it in the process, it turns blue, because it has the chamazoline. So that's why it's blue. But we have the flowers. These flowers are, one of the more expensive flower oils that you can get, like the helichrysum. We know that's one of the most expensive oils for us. But it works, and it's so fantastic. And so that's why doTERRA, puts it in there, because even though it's expensive, it really works powerfully. What I want to impress upon everybody is that each essential oil has hundreds of active ingredients. It's not like a drug where you have one or two active ingredients, and then it can takes this pathway or takes that pathway through your nerves, so through your pain responses. Your body has like these 3 switches in your body. It has to go through where it is in the peripheral, and then it goes into the central nervous system, and then it goes straight into the brain. So, it goes through that path, but, that's if you have the right chemical that will go through that path properly. But with these oils, each oil has hundreds of active ingredients. And then if you multiply it or you mix it up, how many thousands of compounds do you have, right? So these oils, they go in there and they just go, let's do it. And then they, have a big party, because they go and take care of you in all the different ways that you are in need of. And that's amazing. I mean, tissues and blood and cells, it does it all. So I'm really, I'm still fascinated by the power of the essential oils. Mm-hmm. But there's 8 oils in here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are flowers. Okay, and remember that, because a lot of floral oils is great for calming, and then calming the heart, okay, is what we're looking for. And this is why this oil is the soothing blend, okay? Okay, so I'm going to scoot the screen down a little bit here. So in doTERRA, so it's sort of like the On Guard, right? The On Guard works so well, they want to make all these products out of On Guard. So the Deep Blue works so well, they want to make all these products with Deep Blue. So there's several products that have the Deep Blue name. So if you type in Deep Blue in doTERRA.com, you'll find that there's a bunch of things that have that same name. So one of the things we have is, of course, the Deep Blue rub. So it has the Deep Blue oil in there, and it comes in a 4 ounce, and it comes in the liter pump. And that liter pump, I have a massage therapist on my team, and she said that she buys that pump and it maybe lasts her for 8 months. And she uses it a lot. And she says that I don't know why it just lasts so long, and it just, you know, what do you call it? It stretches. You know, even though it seems expensive, but it's better. It's a better deal than the actual Deep Blue 4 ounce. Okay, per ounce, that's a better deal if you can get the liter pump, and if you're one to use it a lot. So you've got gyms, you've got massage parlors, you've got athletes that use the Deep Blue rub a lot. That will be the oil for you. Okay, in that form. It's in that form so that you can massage it in, because when you use the oil, it goes straight into your bloodstream, and then your skin is dried up. Okay, and it's soaked in too quickly. So with the rub, you can actually massage it in a little bit more, and it stays on the surface longer, because you do want it on the surface, because your tissues and things on the surface needs that attention. Okay, and so sometimes I do both. So if you have an extra, you know, discomfort, and you really want to get into it right now and relieve that discomfort right away, you want to put the oil on. Okay, so you can drive straight in to just hit the mark, and then you want to put the Deep Blue rub on top to seal it in, but then also the rub holds the oils on the surface longer. Okay, and then if you do have the Deep Blue polyphenol, which is the herbal complex, you can take that internally as well. And because it's a herb, you can take it every day if you want to, if you need to. Okay, but most of the time when we help our doTERRA friends, we teach them to detox, we teach them to change their lifestyle so that, you know, their body doesn't respond in the same inflammatory way as it used to. But sometimes people don't want to change. They just want to eat the same food that they're eating and live the same lifestyle, but they just want something natural, just you know, instead of the drugs. And that's fine. That's their choice. So, you know, these products, you can use it daily, and you can use multiple Deep Blue products together. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so we have the rub that comes in 2 forms, and then we have the Deep Blue polyphenol blend, or complex, excuse me, and it's a herbal, and I'll just scoot this down so you can see the picture. Okay, so that's the Deep Blue family with all of the products. You have the Deep Blue, that's touch, so that means it's diluted, so your kids can use that one. The Deep Blue 5 ml and the Deep Blue roll-on, that's a 10 ml. Okay, and then you have the little sachets that you want to carry with you if you're traveling, or if you want to share a sample with your friends. There's a little mini for you. Okay, so that's the Deep Blue sachets. Now the Deep Blue polyphenol, I want to tell you something about this. We have some people that come up to me and say, hey, I love turmeric. I use turmeric and it's so amazing, and they get so excited over it. But what we want to tell people is we have the Deep Blue polyphenol blend, and it has the turmeric too, and it has the ginger root extracts and the frankincense resin and a few more things too. Well, hello. Hello, Carly. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Carly is Stacy's friend. I was so excited to meet her.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, anyone want to add to that, the Deep Blue family there? You want to say anything about that?
Those Deep Blue sackets, they're really good. It's I think you get a pack of 10 for $5 or something like that. Perfect for either carrying around in your purse or man purse, or giving to people as samples, because this is, like I say, it's a high impact thing. If you want to share something, this is one that a lot of people absolutely fall in love with.
Yeah. So it's a staple for everyone's home. And, you know, the Deep Blue rub, our kids love it. We have friends that use it post workout, and
before they work out as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think it helps with muscle recovery as well. If you put some Deep Blue on and massage it into the muscle.
Okay, so we have some new friends here. We just wanted to share with you that we're talking about the Deep Blue. It's a blend, and it's a blend of wintergreen, peppermint, ylang ylang, camphor, helichrysum, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and osmanthus. Okay, and that's our soothing blend, right? And I love the fact that it's certified pure therapeutic grade, so it's absolutely pure, and you can use it on your family members.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In the introductory class, this is also one of the ones that you can pass around for people to experience how to use essential oils topically, because
we have so much fun with that.
Yeah, and people they'll smell it, and you can ask them, what does that smell like, and they'll say, usually some type of muscle rub or something like that.
Yeah.
It's usually the wintergreen that they're smelling in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that what do they call it? That thing in the wintergreen, the menthol.
Yeah.
They produce it in a laboratory. So here we have it directly from nature.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get it. They can produce it in a laboratory for
can do that.
pretty cheaply, but it has some harmful chemicals in there as well. So.
Yep, you have to pay for those chemicals later on.
So this is an awesome thing, and it's all natural.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to put a little plug into what we try to do. So sometimes people, they have pains and they're so used to pain medications, but that approach is just a symptom management approach. We want to teach people the holistic lifestyle so that their bodies change permanently and they experience healing permanently. So the holistic approach is, of course, mind, body, and spirit, right? We want to help people understand if they can clean out their gut, right? Then that's going to be a big part of their health. So the gut, it has the biggest problem with the gut is the overgrowth of fungus, and the fungus we experience the most is the Candida albicans, and so that causes a lot of havoc in our body. It kind of hijacks your body, and this Candida fungus, the fungus is just a moving, changing target. So your body's trying to find that fungus, and then it causes inflammation to kill it. Right? And then people think, oh, that's autoimmune. My body's killing its own cell. It's attacking itself. But I think that's kind of silly. It's really doing a good job. It's looking for the fungus. So Stacey shared the story earlier of her daughter. We knew that she got a bit of Candida, and she was like, oh, one day it was hurting here, and then it's here, and then it's in another place. It keeps moving. It's migratory. And nobody can tell her what the problem is. Of course they can't, because this is a holistic big picture problem. Lots of things have caused it. So, the inflammation is pain. That's what it is for most of us. Yep.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mentioned earlier that we got all the Deep Blue and we used it. That was just to help her get through the day. But then after we had to do what Jade is talking about now, that was the real answer to the long-term problem, the solution, whereas the Deep Blue was just helping for her to get by until we were cleared all the Candida out. So.
That's right. So we're doing some symptom management, but we're doing stuff under the surface too. That's fantastic. So that's what we're all about in our doTERRA experience. We try to educate people on that, and then you guys will get the skills you need to help yourselves here on out. So one of the main things is to chillax, to relax the mind, because anxiety causes you to keep that energy up here and not share the energy with the rest of your body. And when the body's robbed of the energy, things slow down. So your gut slows down, so your metabolism slows down, and then your body's not pooping as often as it should. And then your poop festers, right? It sounds gross, I'm sorry. But what happens then? You've got rotting stuff inside of you. Not fun. And then it causes an overgrowth of fungus, because this fungus is actually the fungus that helps your body break down and decay when it's dead. And we don't want that. We're not dead yet, right? So we really want to keep the organs and the tissues alive. So we have to do the detoxing and cleansing. So we do have a separate class on detoxing and cleansing. That's what we try to teach people, and they'll find that suddenly they don't have this problem and that problem, and a whole list of problems that they don't have anymore. Those symptoms go away, and suddenly the name of the disease goes away as well. So that's what we want to encourage people to understand about themselves, instead of really getting bent up on the name of their problem. Like my friend used to have fibromyalgia, now she doesn't. We used to have lupus, now I don't. And all of these little things, it's just amazing, because you're taking care of yourself at the root. Okay, so energetically and emotionally heal. That's how you help your mind not be so anxious. So whatever the trauma is that you've experienced in childhood, I believe that everyone can heal from it. I believe that everyone has the ability to stop the malfunction of the body's pain circuits. So I just got an article recently that I read, and it's talking about people that have had accidents, and they have like maybe a sprained ankle, and then and years after that, they still experience the pain. So why is that? And they don't know why. Sorry, I just need a drink of water.
Got it for you. I'm the water boy. In addition to other.
Sorry. So they don't know why the pain is still there, right? Even though the ankle's healed and everything's healed, it's because the body has malfunctioned and is still producing those pain receptors and pain chemicals. Okay, that's because of the energy. So what you want to do is heal the energy, get rid of the trauma that is stuck in there. So we call it trapped emotions or trapped energy. So that's one thing that we help people do as well. And of course, part of healing is sleeping. And, when you're sleeping better, you rewire your brain and you cleanse and organize. So that's a really important part. And then the next thing too is nutrition. Sometimes your body doesn't have the tools it needs to repair. So if you give it really good raw material to create tissues with, then your body is able to function more optimally, okay? So, I want people to understand that about pain. I don't want them to think, okay, I'm going to stick blue every day. If you understand how your body responds, then perhaps you don't need to use it so often anymore. So personally, when I first started with doTERRA, I was on a journey of healing, and I had very bad chronic back pain. In fact, I couldn't lift a bag of groceries. I couldn't lift my kids, and that broke my heart, because I have 4 kids that are really cute and I really love them, but I couldn't lift and play with them, and I had to wait for my husband to come home to do the grocery shopping with me. And
the laundry.
And the laundry. Yes, and all that. So I really wanted to fix my back, so I started using Deep Blue, and I didn't understand the holistic approach until much later. And then, after 2 years or so, it was amazing, because, everything else healed too. And I wasn't even realizing that all came with a package, right? So for you guys, if you can understand the holistic approach early, you don't have to use so much product to maintain and or just to manage symptoms. Okay. Any questions or comments? Anything anybody wants to add? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So as usual, we go through the mind and the body and the mind and the spirit in our calls. Okay, so today with Deep Blue, of course, muscle, back, joints, just 1 or 2 drops of Deep Blue. You can use the roll-on, you can use the oil, whatever you like, and
or
just
like a
massage it.
pea-size amount of the Deep Blue rub. It does really go a long way. So start small and then get big, and give it a little while to kind of seep in. You can see some people are smiling. You can go overboard with this, and it can, be.
Yeah, our kids do a lot, because when they have the growing pains, they're like squirt, and they're rubbing all over their legs, and
just takes a little bit.
Yeah.
A great application. I don't know if you went over it. If some people are wondering, well, should I use the rub or should I use the undiluted oil? So use the undiluted oil first to get instant relief, and then put the rub on afterwards to get that sustained relief. So that's how I would do it. So you get a longer, but you also get that instant connection there.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm glad you reminded us of that. Circulation. That's the other thing that we have issues with. So lots of, I think, labels, health problem labels that have to do with the circulation concern. So if just 1 or 2 drops of the Deep Blue and 1 or 2 drops of the Aroma Touch. So think of Deep Blue as your cool pack and Aroma Touch as your warm pack. Okay, so hot pack, cold pack, and then it helps increase circulations back into your legs. So there's lots of health problems that is just a circulatory problem.
So with people with cold feet, this is a great way to get the blood going down there. Neuropathy or the veins, varicose veins. That's just has to do with the circulation system. So if you want to improve the circulation system, this is an oil that will support that.
Yeah. And any sort of inflammatory response. So if you've got people have tennis elbows and all sorts
arthritis,
of things. Yeah.
Like if you have someone who can't open their hands because it gets really stiff, make a fist. This is a great one to massage into their hand.
Yep. So
along with
super
Aroma
easy.
Touch.
Super easy to use. And you can read more about the inflammatory response there. So we have a post on arthritis there. Okay. But like I said to everybody earlier, some of the root of that is just a fungus problem. Okay, so if we clean out the fungus, your body doesn't have the breakdown of tissues and inflammation as much. Okay, questions, comments?
Excellent.
Okay, no worries. So muscle tension, okay, it could lead to headaches and things. So 1 or 2 drops of the Deep Blue and past tense on your neck and shoulders. Very simple, very quick. Most of us that have neck and shoulder concerns is because we're high achievers. We have a lot of things we carry, lots of responsibilities, and we want to get it all done. And then we carry it all on our neck and shoulders. So if you're one to experience this, the Deep Blue, the past tense would be very good for you. I had a lady yesterday that was like in love with the past tense. She smelled it and she was like, oh my gosh. And then we had her use Deep Blue and she's like, oh my goodness. So because she's experienced that so long.
And sometimes you don't really know why you have that muscle tension and stuff. So you try these things. There are other things you can try. Just know that there's other things. I really like one year at the convention in Australia where Dr. Hill, he was talking about pain and how there are 2 different kinds of pain. There's the pain that comes from nerve damage and the pain that comes from tissue damage. So when it's the tissue damage, when you're like working out, you got those micro tears in your muscles and stuff like that. That's tissue damage, and Deep Blue is a really good one for that. And he also adds a little bit of frankincense to help with that tissue damage kind of pain. Yeah. Then you've got the nerve damage kind of pain, which gives a lot of people headaches and stuff. And past tense has it's got that peppermint and that frankincense in there. So that's really good for that nerve kind of pain. So using those both together with your muscle tension will address both of those.
Yeah. So that's fantastic. Growing pains. We do have we have 4 kids, so we have this a lot. And so they love the Deep Blue. If it goes missing, it's probably in their bedroom. And you just rub it on, and it's usually when they go to sleep that they complain about that. So you can just use a teeny bit and massage it, and it's nice and cooling, and it should help with that discomfort. You don't have to give them Tylenol.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's step back from this. What did we do? Yeah. What did people do before they had something like this? Tylenol, giving to the kids, completely unnecessary. And look, it's just gonna mask the pain. All it does is cut off the nerve receptors, right? Whereas with the Deep Blue, it increases the circulation. It addresses the issue that's there before. So, it can also help with the muscles and relaxing them.
And I can tell you later on when we talk about the emotions, that it's also helping them with that emotional change. So, kids as they grow, they're changing and they're going into a new world, that's unfamiliar to them. So part of that is the pain in their minds too. So this is awesome. Okay, bruises and soothing.
Yeah.
Can I just share? And it's interesting, you know, with my severe nerve damage, I was living on a lot of Panadine Fort. And interesting enough, at first, you know, it kicked in quickly, but then my body started to get accustomed to it, like, and it wasn't working anymore. And so the doctors are giving more toxic medication on top of, and it just wasn't sitting well with me because it wasn't even addressing. I knew it was just trying to treat the symptom. So I started using Deep Blue a lot, and surprisingly, like, I was talking to my specialist on Monday, and I was telling her, said, there's sensations and there's change that I've never felt for the last 12 months. And she said, well, what medication are you taking? I was telling her, I remember we're off the medication, and she was laughing at it. She knows. And we talked about my, because I got results back, and the behind the chest, it's come back positive, which I knew it was a possibility. She knew it too. And I said, and that's okay. She goes, Jean, your whole perspective changed. I said, yeah, I'm very hopeful. It's because I my oils, I started pulling them out. And I was telling her, I said, I use Blue always on my hands and feet. And before I could barely walk, I said, but it's beautiful to feel this relief that I've never felt before. So, you know, it still lingers, but it's tolerable now.
Yeah.
And it can only get better. So it's really awesome.
Oh, that's really great perspective. For those who don't know, Jean, she just started to recover from a lot of treatment for cancer. So that just kind of took her on a big roller coaster ride of pain and discomfort. So here she's saying that she's getting a lot of comfort, and things are coming back, and things are becoming alive again. And it's amazing. The body's waking up and then repairing and then restoring itself. And I think Stacey will agree with me too. You get to the point where you don't remember how awful it was before. Because, you know, the first couple of months of oils, it was like, oh, we had all these pains, but now we'll have to learn how to use the oils instead of these other things. And then you learn to use it, but then after a few months, we have all this comfortable sensations in our body that we forget how it used to be. You know, because I remember you texting me every other day almost, like, which oils for this, and there's another problem we have. And then now it's like everyone's all happy and everyone's still very good. And you know, we were saying, Stacey, you've only been with doTERRA for a year and a half. You know, she's like, oh yeah, I felt longer. I felt like I've been using this forever. So yeah, it's just something that we're so used to. I mean, if our kids have a bump or a bruise or anything swelling, we just rub Deep Blue, and we just know that's what they do. So
I can tell you, like, I suffered from chronic pain for years before, and been to every kind of spine, whatever, to figure it out, you know. And then I found this. And then what I was going to say is, we were doing well, right? Like, we were using the oils. We got used to that. But we do the cleanse every 4 months. And my daughter thought that she was completely better. And in January, when we did it last, she said, Mom, I thought that I was better. But I was just at extreme pain, and I got to less pain, and then I got to less pain. She said, but day 5 of the GX, I realized I was achy, and I didn't even know. And now I'm not as achy. And she wasn't even finished yet. And she said, this is why I have to keep on doing it, because she had slacked off. And she hates taking pills, so she didn't do it. And then she wound up like in a wheelchair. And I said, so do you want to love yourself and care for yourself, or do you want to be in this wheelchair? And she was like, no, I need to treat my joints. I need to treat this fungus. I need to just stay with it. So, you know, that was like September. She did it then. She did it in January. And she was like, I thought I was better already. And then I can't believe how much better I feel now. So that stuck with her. Like, even though you think you're better, you keep up with it, because it builds back up in you, and she doesn't want to get back to that place again. So it's really treating the source of everything and keeping that healthy. If you keep your gut healthy, then, you know, you might get an ache here or there, but it's not going to build up to this thing that you can't bear anymore, you know?
Yeah, that's great, because you wind up so tightly you don't even realize.
Yeah.
Can I say something about the bruises and the soothing? So Deep Blue has helichrysum in it. That's one of those miracle oils that So it's a rare
You have
kind
to
of
use-
oil.
it's an
The
emergency oil.
5 ml bottle, you know, is one of the more valuable oils. And but this, if you don't have that helichrysum and you get a cut or a bruise or something, Deep Blue has the helichrysum in it. The Correct X is another one that has helichrysum in it. So that is an amazing oil. It helps with the healing process. So whether you have cuts, I wouldn't put Deep Blue on a cut, but definitely on a bruise or a bump or something like that, where you've just banged yourself or funny bone or bruised shin or something. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you heal so quickly too. Your body heals so quickly. With you have a bump or a black eye or whatever, and it just kind of heals within days. So that's really powerful. Okay, so pre and post workout, you know, it helps you work out longer and harder, and you don't feel so sore. So that's really good to know. And of course, the rub is probably going to be the best choice for you because it's very easy to apply.
Can I give a great tip here? If you're working out, like especially doing any type of weightlifting or some type of workout that's going to really strengthen your muscles, rub some on immediately after the workout, and then you jump in the shower. That will help push the Deep Blue into the muscles, and you'll have that relief. And I find when I do that and you're doing a massage as well, that really helps for the lactic acid to come out of the muscle and for that healing process to begin, so that you can build up bigger muscles. And I know how everybody on this call is looking for getting bigger muscles, right?
Well, you know what? We have some really cool yoga instructors on our call tonight. And I've seen their pictures and I'm like, oh, I want that. So, you know, they might experience their soreness once in a while too. So you never know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So injury care is another thing. I'm just putting the top things that you can do. You can apply the Deep Blue in so many different ways. But this last thing here I want to say is for the body. Just, you know, when you're in some sort of accident or something happens and you experience some whiplash, you know, something that's just traumatizing your physical body a bit, then you can use the oil, the Deep Blue oil, for every few hours. You can reapply it, just to really get your body to go back to where it was, just to align it again. So on your back and your neck, for the support.
Yeah, even things like smashing your head on a door or slamming your finger or in a car or a window.
Yeah, not that you do that very much.
those will be some good times to apply.
Yeah. Okay, so easy peasy, guys. It's something that is a staple for our home. And then if you have kids that are able to understand, you can teach them how to use it. So our kids know how to do that. They come home and they're like, oh, I fell over at school. And they run for the Deep Blue and then rub it on. And, you know, it's just taken care of. It's so easy.
Can I just give another application with Deep Blue? Or, you know, you usually talk about oils that you can use with it. If people are experiencing like pain or, you know, like on their back or muscles or anything, copaiba is an oil that doTERRA recently came out with, and it really works well with Deep Blue. So a little bit of copaiba, I'd put that on first, and then the Deep Blue after. And sometimes people are experiencing awesome relief from pain.
Yes, actually, that would have been a really good thing for me to put in here too.
Copaiba is like that cannabis one, right?
But healthy, good for you. Yeah.
Cannabis just gets people's attention.
Yeah. So if you used a Deep Blue and it just doesn't quite cut it, maybe your pain is wired in a different way, that copaiba would be a good option to
mix it up with copaiba or past tense, and try putting frankincense in there, and also the bit of peppermint helps to move things in.
Yeah, both of these oils have peppermint. I mean, the Deep Blue has peppermint. The aroma touches peppermint already.
Other tips would include massaging or putting it on before you get into the shower, because the water will help drive it in, and also warm pack or cold towel. So
cold or hot towel. But if it's wet, it drives the oils in.
Cold towel, wet towel to dry the oils in, but a warm pack also to kind of give those networking. Yeah,
because the other day somebody was not well, and I just put a wet towel and just cold wet towel on the head because they were aching all over. that helped. All right, so that's the body.
Now let's get mental.
Application. Mental. So application to the mind. So you can actually smell these oils for some emotional healing. And some people are unfamiliar with that, and a lot of people are just totally into that already, which is great. But if you are unfamiliar with it, I just want to tell you that the oils have very high vibrations. It's like plant concentrated. So if you have lovely flowers and plants in your home, the energy is beautiful. But if you concentrate the energy of the plant's immunity in a bottle and you use that, your body will vibrate and match that vibration. So the floral oils such as rose and jasmine, they have very high vibrations. So, a certain level of vibration, it makes you go beyond sickness. Okay, so if you're vibrating very low, we're negative, we're angry, we've got all of the negative emotions, but then we're also sick in different ways, and cancerous, right? But if you vibrate really high, your body can't really get sick if you're, keeping that high vibration, and you're always happy and perky. Okay, and you want that, and you keep attracting happy and perky people if you're vibrating that high. So we want to remove some of the negative emotions. So the deep blue, hello. The deep blue is the oil of surrendering emotional pain. Okay, so according to the Emotions and Essential Oil book, the negative emotion, deep blue, helps us shift out, resisting pain, avoiding emotional issues, panicked, fearful, and wounded. So already probably in your mind you're thinking, yeah, I have a few people that they have a happy face on, happy mask on, but really they won't let us in, or they won't let you be close enough to kind of really talk about stuff, because they have that fear of sharing that emotional pain. And then the positive emotion that it helps you adopt is strengthened, accepting, soothed, serene, and healing. Okay, so I have a recipe here from my experience with the deep blue, because I do energy healing for a lot of people, and what I muscle test and what it comes up as, I just share with people these blends. So for emotional pain, so releasing emotional pain, deep blue, eucalyptus, and cypress. Just 1 drop of each to start with, and you can mix it together. And this blend is for letting go of your limiting beliefs. Sometimes we feel like, oh, I can't. That's your first response. I can't do this. I can't do that. And then because you fear that pain, a pain that you're imagining inside. So maybe it's subconscious. Maybe you don't even realize that you have that. And it's probably passed down from mom or dad, but it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, if it's inside of you, let's consciously remove it. So, some of us might feel undeserving, or we're feeling broken and feeling like we can't have good things in life. So we may not be aware of it, but when we're honest with ourselves, we see patterns. So let me tell you, if you can see or remember or think of people who have drama in their life, they just keep attracting one drama after the next. Okay, and as much as you try to help people, they just have more dramas, and it's like almost like they're creating it, and they're not trying to, and it's uncomfortable for them, but they just keep attracting this kind of drama. So maybe their subconscious needs to have this non-peace life. Okay, because they don't feel like they're worthy of greater things. So with the deep blue, the eucalyptus, and the cypress, it helps us remove that and just let go and move through that, so that we're on the other side and experiencing more peace and joy. Okay, and we have a team of thousands of people, and we've helped a lot of people through this. And it's funny because sometimes you watch people and you think, all of that drama could have been so avoided. But sometimes they don't see that. So you invite them to smell, this particular blend, perhaps deep blue, eucalyptus, cypress, smell it and just move through it. And then to help them move through it faster, I encourage them to say a few affirmations, which is like a rewiring of the brain. and do this for a couple of months. So I say, tell them, say, I am safe without pain and limiting beliefs. Sometimes people have to hold on to that fear and pain because they think, oh, what if it gets worse? It's better that it's this than that. And then the other thing is, I allow myself to move gracefully and easily through life. Because sometimes we have this false belief that life is hard, life is tough, you got to fight and, you know, your way through life. And I think, well, really, does it have to be like that? But that's what they've been brought up with, you see. And I taught hundreds of children in school too, and you can tell the false belief that they've come with. You know, as soon as you ask a question, they raise their hand because, oh no, don't anyone take my attention, little things like that. And I'm thinking, oh, come down, it's okay, you'll get your turn, don't panic, right? And it's the same with adults too. It's like, oh, got to take it before, you know, before it runs out or something. And it's like, whoa, calm down, where did that come from? So, you know, sometimes you're like, I just want to deep blue and eucalyptus, cypress, just to help them, let go of that. All right, so that's the releasing of emotional pain. People that are holding on to pain and drama because they think that don't deserve better. Okay, you know anybody like that? Maybe? Yeah.
I think some people feel safe when they have a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And they actually, when somehow you help them get drama out of their life, they just create more
drama.
They bring it in more.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. But anyways, this is another use for deep blue is to help have courage to face pain. So there's some people that feel like, oh, inflict me with pain. And another person's like, no, I don't want any pain. I just want to sit here on this side of the fence and then until everything is gone and go away and then I can move forward. And guess what? That river of pain will never go away. You have to go through it. You can't go over it, under it, around it. You have to go through it. Okay, so mix deep blue and breathe together. And then this is for inhaling and smelling. And the energy of both of these oils will help you naturally move through it, okay? Because we're all going to have pain. We can't avoid it. It's going to repeat. The opportunity to go through that will repeat unless we face it. So we have lots of people that resist the pain, and they're worried that it might get worse. So I had a lady that says, hey, I've got this one issue, that trauma when I was little, but I don't want to talk about it. And it keeps coming up, but then she keeps on, stuffing it back under the table, under the bed or whatever, in her mind, just put it away. And I'm thinking, let's resolve it for good without boxing it up and then putting it away. And then you move forward and you grow up. Because sometimes people are stuck in that child, in that age as that child. And we don't actually grow up until we resolve that and move through that. So deep blue and breathe together helps with moving through pain. So you can say a few affirmations like, I'm liberated from my perceived pains. There was a quote from somebody, it was Mark Twain. He says, I had a lot of trauma and pains in my life and some of it really actually happened. Something like that. Because it was just in his head mostly, and that's us too. We look back and don't you feel like, I think I worried excessively more than I needed to. It all turned out anyways. So yeah, okay, the other affirmation here is, my heart is strong and courageous, okay, and I am strong enough and allow myself to achieve and grow through challenges. So it's like deep blue's holding your hand and just saying, hey, let's walk through this together, and you can do it. You can make it through the other side. So that's what the deep blue is good for on a mental, emotional level. All right, guys. What you have any comments or questions? Oh, good. Does that
Carly said that she knows people that thrive on drama, and she's like, maybe I can just diffuse this around them.
Yeah, it's soothing. Look at all of those floral oils. That's what I'm saying. It helps with the heart, right? 5 out of the 8 oils are floral. So like wrapping layers and layers of petals around you. So it's a good one for calming the spirit, because we're so fearful of that emotional pain. Okay, so spiritually, okay, us humans, we're naturally, of course, we don't like pain. None of us really do, but we can actually learn from it and allow ourselves to stretch. Pain actually, is magnified in our minds than it really actually is in real life. Okay, so what we can do is accept it and appreciate it, and then allow it to transform us. Okay, so the lessons that we learn is invaluable. And in fact, if you don't learn your lesson, the thing I say to people is Groundhog's Day will repeat. Okay, in a different way, shape or form, you're going to have that same lesson again until you get it. So once you get it, you go actually through it, and then it's over, right? So watch for the patterns in your life, and then take those things as life lessons. And one of the easiest way to receive a life lesson is through health. So if you have certain body parts, that book Feelings Buried in Life Never Die, it helps you kind of see what emotional problems we have that's connected and associated with our health problems, right? So that's a wonderful way to kind of start our changes. Okay, so like I said earlier, Deep Blue holds your hand, comforts you, soothes you physically, mentally, and spiritually as you go through that pain. Okay, and it doesn't last forever. You've never tried beyond your ability to withstand, so it just kind of helps you go through it. Okay, I like to remind myself and others that God cares more about our growth than our comfort. So sometimes we're uncomfortable, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing for us is to grow through it. And then, I tell people, instead of a post-traumatic stress, and you talk about that stress all the time, why don't we say post-traumatic growth? Because there are some people that kind of allow themselves to grow, and they come out conquerors, and they're the ones that are amazing, the people that, give those people labels as heroes and things. So about 2 years ago, we had Immaculée who came to a convention, a doTERRA convention, and her whole family was, murdered in genocide, and she grew through that. And now she's like a very inspiring person who goes around the world saying, hey, it can be done. If I can do it, you can do it too. Instead of, you got your friends, some of the friends that just keep talking about how they were wronged by their parents, wronged by their husbands or whatever, and they keep holding on to that pain. Okay, so let's grow through this and we will move forward. All right, with the oils, it takes the edge off, so it's not so painful, but then you can go through it and you realize, hey, I did it myself. Okay. So I mentioned earlier the floral oils are great for the heart, right? And our heart is where our intention is, okay? And then from there, everything else kind of shows. Okay, so here's a scripture that I found in Luke 6:45, and it says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaketh. Okay, so, you can't hide what's in there, in that heart. So me as an energy healer, when I help people, I can actually really see where some of the patterns are coming from, because you all go down to the heart, to the belief system, to your intentions. And then we resolve it from there, and that's where the root is, and then we heal for good. So a last analogy that I wanted to help people understand, so that we don't shun away from pain and we adopt it and we can move forward. There are those people that don't like the deep blue oil, and they're very few, but there's some that smell it and think, ew, gross, it smells like medicine. And we're like, oh, it's yummy, but that's because they don't want to face some certain pains and things. So I'll give you an analogy, or what a story, I guess, to compare. As a school teacher, I challenge my students to go outside their comfort zone. And outside our comfort zone is what we call instructional zone, okay? But what most of us are fearful of is going way past the instructional zone, being to frustration. So here we are sitting in the comfort zone, you know, fearing all that frustration and that I can't do-ness, when really if we step slightly outside it, we hit the instructional zone, and that's when we grow, and that's where we, you know, we flourish. Okay, so we have a student that is grateful for the lessons, right? Hi, Joyce. We push through and we move on really quickly. So I have a student on level 5 reading, and she's like, thank you, Mrs. Balden, for level 6 book. And then she reads and then she reads and she pushes through and she gets up and up and up and up and up and higher and higher. But if I have a kid that's resisting, oh, I don't want this one, this is too hard, when I know as a teacher that that kid can do it, right? You know, he resists and resists and resists, he's not going to grow very fast. Same with real life. Okay, so if we have a trial in our life and we think, oh, no thanks, God, can you just remove it, take it away, you know, and I'm just going to wait until it's gone. Thank you. You know, that's not us being grateful. Instead, we can approach it as, I'm grateful for this challenge. You know, like I think Jen is a great example. She's grateful for the experience that she's had, because she knows now that she's going to get something out of this, and she's going to turn around and be able to help people with that. And most of our trauma is that, you know, as soon as you can pass through that, you feel strong and you feel capable and you feel confident, and you can turn around and use whatever the skills and the empathy that you've experienced through that experience to help others. Okay, and it just helps you have more happiness once you go through it. So I want to tell you that, you know, we are most of us are in that instructional zone. Okay, if we allow ourselves to be. You know, there's no growth in that comfort zone at all. You know, if we allow God to guide us and just to surrender to the process, we will grow and we will find that happiness. Okay, and that's why I love the Deep Blue so much, because it helps hold your hands and say, hey, let's go through this instructional zone together, and we'll grow through this. Okay, and then you come out really strong and liberated. Okay. So that's the Deep Blue. That's my understanding of the Deep Blue. What do you guys think?
Jade, I love that analogy you've given of the instructional. So it's so true. You know, we just don't know the ripple effect. You know, everything. I think part of the whole healing emotionally, and that was for me, was to be true to my heart, because I grew up in a culture where it was expected of me, you know, and we had to do it, and we had to do it exceptionally well. And the fact that I've got a beautiful tribe that support me, yourselves, but I just, you know, I took on the oils to help myself and my family. And I love, and the ripple effect may seem small. And a perfect example was one of my girlfriends, she's a mother of 9, and they went on a trip to the islands, and she packed her, you know, she told me, she said, oh, I can't believe it, Luffy. She wanted Terra Shield, I think, and she said her husband had gone and purchased like $300 worth of Aragard, or like, you know, they got chewed by mosquitoes over there. And she said, she was messaging me, she says, oh my goodness, she says, Luffy, she said, you know, and I made sure that she understood, and she only had, I think, 3 or 4 little sample oils with her, she took with her, and she became like her type, everyone called her in the village the doctor of medicine with her oils. And just some beautiful stories. You know, I made sure that she understood that you cannot put it in your ears, you cannot put it in your eyes. These ones, you know, make sure that that you don't have them administered internally, but it can be done topically. And I didn't think it would resonate, everything, you know, would resonate with her, or she'd be able to process it all. But she did everything, it just stuck with her. And she said she came across a particular village lady, and she hasn't been able to sleep for a very, very long time chronic pain. She said the doctor would like draw stuff out of her ear, like syringe her ear. And he passed away, surprisingly, but she said hasn't been able to rest. So Sarah got a cotton ball. She didn't have helichrysum, but she had melaleuca. Put a drop in it, and she put it on her inside her ear, like let it sit and just put in the opening. And she just rubbed some lavender. That lady slept so soundly that night. And it's this beautiful story. She said, I knew these oils worked because she applied lavender and breathed on her children who were highly asthmatic, but she never understood the impact it was having outside her comforts, her community. And she said, so profound. She said she's got 2 ladies that want to get oils because of it. And her husband's very, very skeptical. He said, what are you doing? She threw all the Ventolins and the bench. I'm not giving these to my kids anymore. And her kids are constantly sick have asthma attacks and, really bad flus. And the whole time they were away, she was doing the stuff that's well, you taught me that, Jade. And so I taught her. And her husband came back and he said, you have to keep telling people about these oils. It changed his whole perspective. He got bitten by a centipede. And of course, the first thing he does, he goes to her and says, where are your oils? So it's just beautiful to see the ripple effect. And if you're true to your heart and you share from the heart because you want to help others and make a difference, it does. It's priceless.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing. So, you're allowing yourself to go through the pain and the healing, and then now you've got, these skills and the knowledge you can turn around and share with others. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on our Deep Blue call. We'll end here and we can start our next call in a few minutes.